Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday, another episode of Milwaukee's Best NBA Podcast with your hosts, Aaron Freese and Tyler Tea Time English. What's going on, Tyler?
What's up, everybody?
So, I got some good news and some bad news, Tyler. We have the good news. We have a big trade, our first trade since the Eric Bledsoe trade in that beginning of October, end of October. And the bad news is we've had basically just a plague of injuries over the weekend. The biggest name in that bunch is, of course, DeMarcus Cousins. And with DeMarcus Cousins, the Pelicans probably not going to make the playoffs now.
I didn't think they were going to make it in the first place.
Well, the thing is, I guess let's dive right into the injury first. All right. I guess I thought they were just starting to get it together too. They're 5 games above 500 at 27-22, and like the first half of the season was really carried over from last season, where they're still trying to figure out like how to play together, him and Anthony Davis. But it just sucks for them, I mean, the Pelicans kind of brought it on themselves because they've signed so many just mediocre players to max deals. I guess it's Drew Holiday, but I mean, the Pelicans right now are 6th in the West. They're tied with Portland, but and now I think the Clippers can actually sneak in.
Oh yeah, with the crazy additions they just got, I think you might be right, and I think DeAndre Jordan might be next to be on that block. Why not move him? They got what is his name? I forgot how to pronounce his name. That came from he played on the Spurs originally, I believe. The center that they traded over from the Pistons.
Oh, I got the name for you.
I forgot how to pronounce it.
Marjanovic?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I probably messed that up completely.
But yeah, they'll probably get rid of DeAndre, try to get a big piece, and then start him at center, and there you go. I mean, you got, as of right now, you got DeAndre, you got Avery Bradley, Tobias Harris, Wesley Johnson, you've got Lou Williams, who's been just tearing it up this year. And then you get 2 more draft picks out of that.
Yeah, they absolutely won that trade, and I think
wow, I just can't believe Detroit did that. They gave away so many pieces just for Blake Griffin, who I don't remember the last time he's played a full season, if he's ever played a full season. That might be something we have to look up, but I don't think he's ever played a full season. And, he's got $35 million plus a year on his contract.
It keeps getting steeper and steeper every year we go on.
It's just ridiculous. So then, all the Pistons have now is Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, and Reggie Jackson.
And Jackson's hurt.
Yeah, so now what? Who else?
Well,
Stanley Johnson? I mean, who else are you relying on
and
here?
There are a lot of teams targeting Stanley Johnson as at the trade that will be targeting Stanley Johnson as
well, they'd be silly to let go of him now after giving away half your team.
But these are the kinds of trades that happen when the 2 GMs making the trades are also doubling as the coaches with Doc Rivers and Stan Van Gundy, and both coaches / GMs have completely just mismanaged their teams. They've had to focus so much on being coaches, and they really are good coaches. Like Stan Van Gundy, I mean, maybe the record doesn't show it, but Stan Van Gundy is someone like I would be willing to take as just a coach as a replacement for Jason Kidd. Doc Rivers, as long as Austin Rivers doesn't come with, I would take him as just a coach for a replacement as Jason Kidd. You know what I mean? So, but both these coaches have kind of failed miserably as GMs.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I have the... Let's see if they Yeah, they did update. Okay. So this year, Blake is making $29.5 million. Next year, it jumps up to almost 32. 1920, he makes 34.2. And the 2020-21 season, he's making 36.5, and then 39 in 21-22.
That's unbelievable.
So I think what happened was the Clippers, they signed Blake Griffin to that monster deal, and then once he got hurt, he was hurt for a while this season, right?
Yeah,
definitely. Okay. So he was hurt for this season. They're like, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. And they're like, you know what? We're gonna find the first sucker who's stupid enough to take this contract, and we're just gonna get rid of it, no matter who we get in return.
They just didn't want to have another situation like Chris Paul.
Yeah, and they got a lot in return.
Exactly. That was the best move that they could make.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
I think if you're a Clippers,
you're not getting a big name player for Blake Griffin right now. You know, not at this point in his career. Like, obviously he's a good player, but you know, just injuries is just a huge factor, and you can't base a team around Blake Griffin. He's not that kind of player.
You could build a pretty good team for $39 million.
Well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, what, $132 million guaranteed. That's just crazy.
Yeah. That's like an entire team's salary, and that's going into the luxury tax.
That's insane. And then you got Andre Drummond right behind it that you're giving $76 million guaranteed.
Yep. And then here's that $39 million in like 4 years from now. That's a player option. So
right.
I think Blake would be almost stupid not to take that up,
unless they just so happen to get some players to come over for nothing.
Right.
Because where's the rest of this money coming from?
But that won't happen because Blake Griffin is definitely not LeBron James, and he can't attract players like, I guess, Derrick Rose playing for the veteran minimum. You know what I mean?
If I was Blake, I would have asked to be traded to the Cavs or something.
Plus, now he's going to a Detroit, and he's going to have to. Wait, who's he? I always forget who's he dating from LA. It's like he's been some big celebrity.
I don't know.
I swear to God, it was one of the Kardashians.
No, that's Tristan Thompson.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, anyway, he's. I feel bad for not knowing this, but I don't really care that I don't know this because I don't really care about that all that much. So
I didn't know you didn't mention John Wall's injury.
Yeah, we actually ended up we were gonna talk about the Cousins injury, and then we ended up going to the Blake trade.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I think we'll be bouncing back and forth tonight. I don't really.
It's a lot to go over.
Oh,
there's a lot that happened between Jason Kidd getting fired and today.
You know, and it's only going to keep getting more exciting because we're coming up on the trade deadline and more of these big blockbuster deals I hope will keep happening. And this is like probably this starts like probably the best time of the NBA season.
Yeah.
Because
this is where you start to see all the teams that, you know, are coming in form, and then obviously they gotta, you know, a lot of teams gotta make adjustments, whether it be coaching or players or just whatever. You know, they gotta switch it up.
Yeah, you start with the trade deadline, which comes up in about a week or two. Then you got the All-Star game, which, I mean, you don't have to take it that seriously. I don't think anyone does, but it's still fun to watch, especially now that there's captains and there's all this drama with who, you know, LeBron picked Kyrie, and, you know, and then straight from there, then the teams who are real contenders, you start to see you can weed out the contenders. Everyone starts to kick it up a notch, and you really have a good idea. And even further down the season, you start to see what those playoff matchups might be looking like. And I think the East, we're going to talk about the East too, because the East is in a really weird spot right now, especially with the injuries. The bottom just kind of fell out. Whereas the beginning of the season, you know, I'll speak for myself here. I was buying into the Detroit Pistons and the Orlando Magic, which I feel an absolute moron for now. How you got me, you know. they, the Magic are at the in the pit of the East. They're in the basement of the East right now. And
14 wins. They're in the basement of everybody. They're a last place team right now.
They started 8-4, and since then they've only won 4 games, which is just 6 games, which is just crazy. I've never seen that much of a collapse in my recent memory. The Pistons also, I believe,
22-26 right now.
Yeah. 22-20.
They're one spot out of 8th. So, but that's a couple games behind Philly.
Right, and they're 1-9 in their last 10.
Mm-hmm.
So that just gives. And then now let's go into that John Wall injury. So he's out for 2 months, is what I've heard. And
said 6 to 8 weeks. He had to get surgery on his knee.
Right. So that usually spells. I mean, maybe he comes back right in time for the playoffs, because what's 2 months from now? That's the end of March, right?
Right.
So that would be coming back right in time for the playoffs. But the thing for the Wizards is right now, for those next 6 to 8 weeks, they have to avoid going into a complete tailspin, because we saw what they did when Wall was hurt the first time this season.
Wizards didn't need this shakeup. They're already struggling. They were in fourth? They were in 4th place, when we talked maybe a week and a half ago. And
I picked them going second. But I guess who saw the Boston Celtics coming and the Raptors, everyone was kind of down on, because how they didn't even really put up a fight in the playoffs last year. The Indiana Pacers, I think, are the favorite to finish in the 4 to 5 area, just because with the between Miami, Milwaukee, and Indiana, those teams are going to be basically your 4, 5, 6 in the conference, and then the 7 and 8 are up for grabs.
Right.
Because you have the 76ers, the Detroit Pistons, the Knicks, and I guess if you're in the East, you can't really count the Hornets out either, because they have pieces they can move. It's just if they make the right moves. I mean, they could. I mean, Jordan doesn't want to. Michael Jordan came out and said he doesn't want to trade Kemba anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's your best player on that team, which we can both agree on that.
Yeah,
you
definitely
have
agree.
The Batum contract, which absolutely nobody wants. You have Dwight Howard, who nobody wants, really, unless you're someone who's desperate for a big man. Rhymes with I can't. Nothing rhymes with Milwaukee.
Schmucks.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Schmucks. That's a good one. Okay, but the 76ers are a very interesting team. If Embiid can stay healthy, which he can't, I think the Sixers are in the playoffs.
I just want you to look at my East predictions from.
That's right.
Yeah, I got one team, Charlotte, that I had in 7th. That just
we both had Charlotte.
Kind of aren't on the map right now, but they're not out of it. They're what? I mean, right now they're. I guess they're about 5 games out of 8th right now, but
I do like your Indiana pick. That was nice.
Where I got them at 6, right?
I appreciate
finishing
that.
6, and then I got Philly at 8th. I think you were surprised about my Philly pick there too.
No, I actually picked Philly. I had Philly at 6th or 7th. I want to say. I don't remember it. The East was. I think I had Miami and Charlotte as 7 and 8. I think in that order, and then I had Philly at 6, and then I think it was. I picked Cleveland first.
Mm-hmm.
I picked Washington second, Raptors third, and the Bucks 4th, Celtics 5th. That's who I had.
Yeah, I got Cleveland, Toronto at 2nd, Boston at 3rd, Milwaukee at 4th, Washington at 5th, Indiana at 6th. So I'm not too far off for you. We still got some shake-up room right now. Obviously, we got another half of the season to go, but
right,
it's getting interesting.
So, other injuries to note. Memphis Grizzlies
Mike Conley.
Mike Conley. Yep. Mike Conley's out for the season.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
I believe Andre Roberson from the Thunder. They're who's known for his defense and nothing else. He's out for the season. The Oklahoma City Thunder, by the way, have won their last 8. They're 30-20 now.
I think I made that call right too.
You probably did.
About a month ago.
You're in the 2%. I think 98% of the fan base of NBA fans were saying, "Oh, this is a failed experiment. They should blow it up and try to trade Carmelo or at least Paul George."
I don't understand why people don't realize that after. I mean, how many times have we seen a superstar team come together and not play well until the second half of the season? It takes time to get used to playing around these, other superstars, especially when everybody's used to taking 25 shots a game themselves. You gotta get some kind of rhythm going before you can even, think about progressing. But, fans just overreact and, they get in panic mode and they hurry up and, oh yeah, let's trade Carmelo after 2 weeks.
That is the best way to go about being a basketball fan. The emotional roller coaster is just what it's all about. I don't care what anyone says. If you're saying that you enjoy a nice, predictable NBA, you're absolutely lying to yourself. What was that Dwayne Wade quote that he dropped on Twitter earlier this week? It was something about looking in the mirror or something. Let me bring that up. I gotta find that real quick. Dwayne Wade. If I search on Twitter Dwayne, you would think Dwayne Wade would be the first one to come up. But
speaking of D Wade, his agent passed away.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't think he played last game. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna play this next game coming up. Yeah, I saw that today too. A lot of crazy things happen in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I guess I can't find Dwayne Wade's Twitter. I just saw the tweet though. Like, it was in my news feed. Never mind. Screw it. It's taking too long. We got stuff to talk about. So, yeah. I think what's
next on the list?
I want to keep talking about the injuries a little bit, if we may.
Who else is injured?
Well, I just want to. We basically listed all the big names, but I just kind of want to expand on it a little bit.
Well, you don't need to expand. People know that the Wizards are going to go in
sucks because
the hole.
It sucks for all these teams that were looking to maybe go for Cousins at the trade deadline, who really need a big man. Even Cleveland was thrown into that discussion.
Yeah,
I've heard Boston Celtics fans saying how they love to see. Anyone would love to see DeMarcus Cousins, just for what he does on the court. And of course, there's that. There's this huge contract, and he's going to be a free agent after this season. So,
right.
But there's he's kind of known as a malcontent. He always leads the league in technical fouls every year, and usually ejections too as a result. But I think if you are just look at the team, maybe what doesn't he bring to your team? But obviously besides the chemistry,
right?
He's gonna fill up he's today's Wilt Chamberlain. So I guess in that regard, maybe does he really care about winning? But Washington was a team that might be looking at him, and I guess the Pelicans too. They were depending on him over this last stretch. They're 7-3 in the last 10. Obviously that was due. We've seen it. Anthony Davis can't do that by himself. The Memphis Grizzlies, they're already a lost season because they've been playing better as of late, but Mike Conley doesn't. That's basically SOS. Thunder can definitely get it done without Roberson, because Russ is playing like his old self lately. The Thunder, I remember doing this calc earlier today. Over their 8-game winning streak, they're averaging 116 points a game, and they're giving up only 104. And that's including... I'm surprised it's not higher because that includes that 148 game they had against Cleveland a couple weeks ago, which you don't see during the regular season. Those are all-star numbers. So I don't know if you want to talk about the state of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know you want to.
Yeah, I mean, they won the last 2-3 games, huh? Or
yeah, I know. That's I'm saying later on we can. They won 2 in a row.
Yeah, they're fine.
But
I'm gonna keep saying the same thing until the end of the season, until they actually show everybody that they'll be okay. Once again, I'm not. This is nothing surprising to me with the Cavs or with a LeBron team.
You heard
they don't. Maybe they haven't struggled as bad as this year, but there's always a struggle within the team.
Well, you heard it here, probably 5th or 6th if you pay attention to the NBA. The Cavs are going to be okay.
There you go.
But yeah. Well, let's Where do you want to go next? You want to do All-Star next, or
Yeah, what's next on the list?
Kind of blue, but I don't have a list. I've kind of tried to take that approach with this show, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But
yeah, let's go to All-Star lineups.
Let's start with Team LeBron.
Since we missed that last week, they announced it like 10 minutes after we started the show.
Yeah, and we were so involved with the Jason Kidd hype that we didn't really get to dive into it. But let's go with let's start with Team LeBron. So this year, in case anyone didn't know, the NBA basically did away with the voting helped get the 12 players in, right? So the voting helped determine, or I guess the 24-player pool, I guess, because you typically had 12 in each conference in the past. But now they still have those 24 players, always decided, by the coaches, the fans, the media, all having their own separate weights in terms of how much their votes count. But now the players, they're doing away with the conferences, and they select the top 2 vote getters are the captains. And this year it was Steph Curry and LeBron. LeBron actually finished out first, and then Steph Curry. I think, didn't Giannis get more votes than Curry? I think they did the top vote getters from each conference.
I don't think so. I don't know. I would have to look that one up. I don't think so, though.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know in terms of the fan vote, Giannis was ahead, but there were probably other, obviously the media and the coaches had to vote too. So let's go through Team LeBron. Now, what was surprising is Giannis isn't on this team. There's so much talk about how LeBron said, "Oh, I'm going to pick Giannis first," and I really I'd like to play with Giannis sometime or whatever,
Well, when you had the chance to choose Kevin Durant, I'm pretty sure that's who you go with.
I bite my tongue.
Probably the second best player in the league.
Yeah, no, Kevin Durant. Yeah,
behind LeBron. So now you got the 2 best players in the league.
I'm just surprised because I thought maybe LeBron wants to play against Giannis. Maybe that's what he wanted to do, But there's another name on this list. Let's look at the starters. Okay, so we have Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, DeMarcus Cousins, who's not in anymore. So we'll talk about who we think should be his replacement, and then Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, and Kyrie was his 3rd pick, maybe. I'm pretty sure
Russell was his first. I heard that Russ was his first.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, I did hear that. So, and then on the bench we have Bradley Beal and John Wall, who I don't think this year they're all-star level players. And John Wall will probably need a replacement too. LaMarcus Aldridge, Kevin Love, Russ, as we previously mentioned, Victor Oladipo, well-deserved, and Kristaps Porzingis. So I think the only 2 I have a problem with on this list are John Wall and Bradley Beal because the dude, I'm just not a fan of the Wizards, like, right now. I'm not a fan of...
Bradley Beal, this is probably his best year, and I agree. I'm not a fan of Bradley Beal, but he deserved the All-Star spot this year, I would have to say.
Okay.
I don't think there's anybody in the East that you could really put over him.
Okay, one of our listeners, Nick, said that Drummond replaced Wall. So
there you go.
I agree with that, dude. I didn't even think of Drummond. I don't know how I could have, but there's a snub, and there we go, and not a snub anymore.
Yeah, I think he's averaging like 14 and 15.
I wish I would have actually taken the time to look this up, who the replacements were, but it's great that we have the listeners kind of helping out here, right? So thank you, Nick, for pointing that out. All-Star.
But yeah, his name was mentioned.
Paul George.
That's for
DeMarcus.
Yep.
And were you surprised that Paul George did not make the original?
Oh, I was very surprised. I mean, I thought he should have been in the All-Star game. I mean, in my opinion, if you had to take somebody out of the All-Star game, and that's including, both sides, East and West, I would take out Draymond Green. I mean...
Oh, I agree. I completely agree.
11, 7, and 7 pretty much this season.
Isn't Klay an All-Star too?
Yeah, Klay Thompson's an All-Star as well this year.
But
you can make a case for him, but I don't think Draymond...
Well, I think you can make a case for Draymond more than Klay, because Klay is like more of a one-dimensional guy where he's shooting, but Draymond is like their offensive facilitator. A lot of times you see him actually bring the ball up the court for Golden State.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't think either of them should be on it. I mean, they are the best team in the NBA, but I don't know.
Yeah, Paul George shouldn't even been a question.
I think there are some players that didn't make the list that are just having like way better seasons. Like even Lou Williams, man. I've heard.
Yeah, Lou Williams got snubbed. Chris Paul.
Yeah, Chris Paul is a big. I was really surprised, especially with like he's been shooting the lights out
exactly
in Houston this year, and he's just been the way that Houston has come out and just.
Let's go to the West.
You want to go to
Team Curry.
Team Chef. All right.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird this year. Team Stephens is what they call it.
Now, my original reaction when I first saw the teams, I was like, okay, Team LeBron all day, right? But I don't really know.
That was mine too.
Yeah. Let's go.
It's still my opinion. But don't get me wrong, they got some good players on this team, but that team is ridiculous. I mean, granted, I said that when DeMarcus Cousins was in the lineup, but even if you don't have him in, who do you throw in? Russell Westbrook? Okay. I'll take Mr. Triple-Double on my starting lineup, too.
Yeah.
I mean, is Paul George? He's in the options now.
I think I take this starting lineup with based on just this year. All right, based on this year, I'm taking this starting lineup for Team Steph, and it is James Harden, DeMar DeRozan, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid.
But running up against those five with DeMarcus Cousins on there, that was crazy as Steph to pick some of these dudes.
Yeah, it was especially Joel Embiid.
I mean, you're running up against your teammate Kevin Durant, who's probably the best player on that team, and then you got LeBron, and then you got DeMarcus and Anthony Davis, who are on the same team.
Yeah, they got all the unicorns.
And then who's the last guy?
We can go back real quick.
I forget. Kyrie. You got Kyrie. Are you kidding me? You choose that lineup against that one? Oh, I don't know, man. That's tough.
Also, everyone listening should let us know, what do you think of these All-Star jerseys? Basically, if you can see LeBron's picture right there. It's just the team logo in black or white, who's ever home and away.
Oh, it got the Jordan symbol on it, though.
And the Kia. Can't forget the Kia logo. Oh, it's not the NBA without the Kia logo.
Honestly, I thought the jerseys last year were terrible. Yeah, I didn't like the jerseys last year. I don't like the jerseys this year.
The Christmas jerseys kept getting worse and worse until.
Well, and then I saw somebody go on a rant about Nike. I mean, you don't have a Christmas jersey this year.
Oh, that might have been me who saw me go.
No, it was somebody else. You don't have a Christmas jersey. Your jerseys are tearing. And then your All-Star jerseys are very plain. So, and then the best jerseys that they have is the City Edition ones, and some of those aren't even that good.
These All-Star jerseys, I wouldn't be surprised if that's just what they roll out for like the regular jerseys. It's just the home team wears just this boring ass like white jersey with the black team logo on it, and then vice versa for the away team. I seriously think that's what it's heading, because if you just look at the Wolves jerseys now, they're just so simple. They just have that, the name of their team and, with the bars of color. I mean, I guess what do I really expect from a jersey? But, I mean, like the Celtics jerseys are very simple, but they also look more like jerseys, you know what I mean?
Right.
The Wolves jersey look like training camp jerseys. I don't know why.
It's just the style. That's the new style of jersey.
Are very cool with the font, kind of the Greek font. Like they're basically saying, yeah, Giannis is our franchise. So we're kind of going off on a tangent about jerseys, but it's worth it, man. It's definitely a merited discussion, because these All-Star jerseys are garbage. I told myself, I'm gonna buy every single Giannis All-Star jersey, and during his entire career, which I'll probably be taking, I'll probably spend like close to $1,500. And I really I want to buy it, but I'm like, I can't justify spending $120.
The worst part is you don't even know I don't know what color they were. Are they wearing the black or the white? You can buy either one, but yeah. But why I want the one that he's wearing in the game?
Well, which one is like, if based on the picture, that LeBron's pictured in his white one and Steph is in his black one. And
then they show up in the white jersey.
And then everyone's pissed that they bought the wrong one.
Yeah, did not return it to NBAstore.com.
Then they have the trade. What is that? Like the no trade guarantee or something like that?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh man,
isn't it like 3 months or something now?
I didn't look into it.
I think Fanatics just you get it's a 3-month program. So if a player gets traded within 3 months of you purchasing it, I think you can return it and get a new jersey.
Right. I've personally researched everything before it. Not really. The Malcolm Brogdon and Thon Maker jersey. I mean, I got the Thon Maker jersey as a gift, but the Malcolm Brogdon jersey was definitely an impulse buy, also because it was half price. But,
yeah, I would have took it too.
But the Giannis All-Star jersey, it's his first one. That was
that was a must get there for me.
That was a carefully thought out and well executed purchase.
Exactly.
On our parts.
I'd rather get the City Edition jersey and wear it to the All-Star game than the black one.
Yeah,
than
the
regular.
Editions are sweet.
Yeah.
Let's move over to some Bucks talk.
Yeah, let's get away from the All-Star game, because I know we're going to probably be talking about All-Star weekend.
You know what?
Pretty soon.
We can't, because we didn't even list the rest of Team Steph. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
My apologies to this mediocre bench for All-Star.
I wouldn't call them mediocre, but yeah, you know what? Compared to other All-Star teams, I guess you're right.
Yeah,
looking at the
it's
names.
Underwhelming. So first we have Damian Lillard, who Russell Westbrook made some comments thinking he shouldn't have been on the team.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Jimmy Butler, who's the reason that the Wolves are where they are. Draymond Green, who we both disagree with. Kyle Lowry,
questionable.
That's pretty debatable too. I think honestly, being the biased Bucks fan I am, and I genuinely believe that Chris Middleton you could put him on here, especially
after this last week.
Yeah, we're gonna give him an award for just a week of superb play. Klay Thompson. I think that's the Warrior you leave off, just because he's like I said, he's kind of a one-dimensional.
You say Clay, I say Draymond. I don't think.
I say Clay.
Do you realize Lonzo Ball puts up close to the same numbers as Draymond Green this season? Do you realize that? Isn't that embarrassing?
But
for him to be on the All-Star, where's Lonzo Ball at? We could put him on there.
That sounds like a real hot take, but at
the
same time, it's not.
It's not though.
Karl Anthony Towns, and then last is Al Horford, who I agree with. I think Al Horford deserves it.
I'd probably put Whiteside in over Al Horford.
He does,
or Drummond. I wouldn't put. Al
Drummond's
Horford
in now,
there,
so we can. We don't have to have that debate.
Oh no! Originally, I would have put Drummond over Al Horford in the All-Star game.
Well, I would have put Drummond over Clay or Dre.
What's Al Horford going to come in and do? To grab a rebound? I don't want to see that in the All-Star game.
I just think he's a great player. Just what he does,
We'll put him on an NBA All-Pro team.
All right, okay.
We don't need to see him in the All-Star game.
I guess, people want flashy numbers and stats, but no.
Andre Drummond would have made it so much more fun to watch.
Al Horford is such an underrated player, man. And you know what?
I wouldn't say underrated.
The entire time he's been in the league, I've thought he's like 10 years older than he really is.
Yeah.
He's not even that old, man.
Yeah, he was on that Florida Gators team.
Yeah.
One of the best.
When I hear Al Horford, I think, that's another 38-year-old guy. He's just got that demeanor, the way he plays. He's just a very mature basketball player. So those are the All-Star lineups.
But yeah, let's move on from
that.
We're gonna touch in more All-Star game probably next week or right before the All-Star game.
Yeah, definitely. As
All-Star events, we got Celebrity Weekend,
Dunk
Celebrity,
Contest.
what is it? Celebrity Game.
The Celebrity Game. Yep. Yeah. The Rising Stars, the Skills Challenge.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Which I think maybe all of 3 people watch, but
get some Dennis Smith. Dunk contest. I can't wait.
So has he been confirmed?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Let's
let's
do that before we get into the Bucks. We need to talk about the Bucks because since we talked last week, they're 4-0.
4-0, no J Kidd.
Now they've beaten 4 kind of crappy teams because
you can't say that for the team like the Bucks.
I guess, but
you can say that for a championship caliber team, but you can't say that for a team like the Bucks.
I was getting there. All right. So this is the first time I've ever seen the Bucks beat all the teams they should in an easy block of their schedule. You say, that should be. You look at a schedule at the beginning of the season. You see Dallas. Oh, that's a win. And they've lost to Dallas this year. And you see twice, I think, actually, right? No, they beat them the second time. But you see teams like Phoenix and that's a win. But I think the last year that the Bucks have played against Phoenix, they've beaten them by a combined total of less than 20 points in 4 games. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah. I mean, 2 of the games were without Giannis.
Right.
Both the games, to be fair. And you see a team like the Sixers, especially last year. Oh, that's a win, right?
Right.
Bucks only beat the Sixers once last year. So it is really nice to see. It gives you confidence. The Bucks are back. We've righted the ship a little bit, and we're back to 5 games over 500.
Looking very solid, and especially without games without Giannis. I mean, Chris Middleton just got Player of the Week.
Yep, Eastern Conference Player of the Week.
Yeah, he's just killing it. First triple-double.
And I didn't think another Bucks player would win that besides Giannis this season, but I was wrong.
As much criticism as I've been giving Chris Middleton this season, which he deserved, he's been playing much better, and I like seeing that. That's what you want to see from your second best player on the team right now, as of right now, until maybe Friday.
Last 4 games, he shot 65%. Now think about the kind of shots he takes.
That's amazing.
He takes all contested, 20-foot jumpers,
turnaround fadeaways.
It's crazy, dude.
He's just on fire.
He's got one of the best jump shots.
Maybe that locker room really was just poisonous. I don't know. It's so hard to imagine that though. But maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what the Bucks need is a little shake up.
Yeah, you heard all this stuff about the owners too, and all
exactly.
The owners, and the owners were basically like, "Oh, you're not at this amount of wins with this roster. You're out. You're done, man."
Right.
And while I do agree with the Jason Kidd firing, it was just came at a very. I just got distracted. My brother said he's been saying that the whole season, don't worry about Middleton, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the way he started off the season, though, it just wasn't a good sign. I mean, he had games where he's just 3 for 16, and you're like, oh, man, come on, Chris.
Here we go again.
Yeah, exactly. We know that he can play at that level. It's just, he was just starting off shaky, but who knows? He needs to keep pushing. He needs to keep working and getting better, because that won't come easy, especially once teams start recognizing that he's our second leading scorer pretty much. Then that's gonna be a problem. They're gonna start really playing defense on him.
Did you notice how good the Bucks looked last night without Eric Bledsoe? And I don't think.
I've been telling you since the trade happened. Like, yeah, sure, you can. It's a nice addition. It looks nice, like he plays somewhat okay with the team, but I don't like the Eric Bledsoe addition. I'm not a huge fan of it. If we had the opportunity to trade Eric Bledsoe and get a center or another big man player, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah,
he'd probably be the first person that I would trade. If I was playing 2K right now and I had the option to put him on the trading block, I would put him on the trading block.
I think I agree with you.
And start
because
Malcolm Brogdon. And why waste Delly on the bench? And you got we're paying him what, 60-something million, or how much is it?
Delly?
Yeah,
it's 9.5. I looked it up. We got
per year.
Yep.
Okay.
We have 2 more years of him after this. So we're almost halfway done. Oh, God. We're almost halfway done.
But yeah, why waste them? I do like the Bucks without Bledsoe. Although I was glad we got rid of Greg Monroe. I thought he was a waste of space.
He just didn't play enough defense for a big man.
He just didn't play enough of everything. Right. I don't know.
But back to Bledsoe, I'll get in more. My brother and I went to the United Center this weekend to see the Bucks play the Bulls.
Yeah, sorry.
In Chicago. It was a lot of fun. But I was talking to another Bucks fan there who was sitting right in front of me, and he turned around and asked me, "So is the jury still out on Bledsoe? What's the opinion?" I was like, "Yeah, I still think it is because of that way he played." Those first 4 games when he joined the team, and the Bucks, they won 4 straight to start Eric Bledsoe's Milwaukee career. But I mean, since then they've kind of leveled out, and that's like really, if you look at the Bucks record with Bledsoe now as opposed to like 2 weeks in when they were like 8-3,
yeah, exactly,
with him. But now it's kind of evened itself out, and I think really we've seen that he doesn't really necessarily fit into the offense. He's a great
you know what I say. Bring him off the bench. What is he averaging, 16, 17 points a game right now?
Yeah, I think it's 17,
Bring him off
18.
the bench. He'd be 6th man of the year. Why not? Start Brogdon. The game that Bledsoe was out, didn't Brogdon scrape 34 points? It was his career high.
That was without Giannis against the Suns.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
But either way, yeah.
He started, though. He was, wasn't he our starting shooting guard?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brogdon.
34 points.
Yep. And then Snell, I think, came off at small forward. Or I don't know. It was weird. It was kind of a weird
I don't know.
game.
I like the way that Brogdon facilitates more. If you watched, the last time I really paid attention to what Bledsoe was doing was when we played against the Suns, and he just started off the game terrible, just trying too hard, trying to throw around the back passes and throwing it out of bounds, and you're just like, dude, come on, this is not that style of basketball here that we're playing.
I swear to God, if I see him take another 3 before they hit the 20-second mark in the shot clock.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm whipping.
But that's that Phoenix Suns basketball. If you look at the Phoenix Suns, that's how they play. They run down the court. I watch one of my friends are Devin Booker fans for some reason. And Henry. We would sit there and watch the games. And I said, look at this basketball here. It was the Suns versus the Nets. It was just one of the worst games I've ever seen. They coming down the court, just pulling within 4 seconds, 6 seconds of the shot clock. I'm like, you're not going to get anything accomplished here like
There's no order in Phoenix. But, yeah, if I see Eric Bledsoe take another early shot clock three, my Andrew Bogut bobblehead's getting it against the wall. I'll tell you what.
That should have got it a long time ago.
Yeah, man. Bobbleheads. I heard there's a guy on the radio I listen to who smashes his bobbleheads a lot when the Bucks don't play well, and I want to start taking after that because sounds really satisfying. I mean, especially if it's like it's Andrew Bogut bobblehead. I think I have like 3 of those laying around. I think there's 2 of them in my room right now. I could go,
God.
I could sacrifice one. I think it would bring me some emotional closure when.
Another big story for the Bucks. Jabari Parker returns on Friday against the Knicks.
Oh, I'm so excited!
That is gonna be amazing.
When I heard
it's been a whole year. That's crazy to even think about. It actually
hasn't even been a full calendar year since the injury.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
But it was still longer than the last time he was out with one. Last time he came back like beginning of November after injuring it in like late December. It was almost Christmas when he injured his ACL the first time against that game in the Suns. If I remember. Yeah, and all indication looks like he's ready to go because I think every Bucks fan who's attended a game in the last month has seen Jabari running drills and warm-ups before every game, and doesn't even look like he lost his step, man. I'm serious.
He looks ready to go, man. It's crazy.
I didn't see him make any I didn't see him make any huge cuts to the hoop, and he was making some cuts, but they weren't like his real explosive now you see him, now you don't.
You probably still won't see that for at least a month or a 2 of him just kind of getting back, and you got to take that slow. You can't come in full throttle right away just because you're cleared to go. It's a mental thing too. Players come back off injuries, they're mentally thinking about not re-injuring themselves, and it's just a patient game. So right now is the perfect time to bring them back and get them in a rhythm, and I mean by the time it's time to push for the playoffs.
And maybe we'll see Jabari's first playoff series ever. Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy to believe. Amazing. It's been 4 years.
It's going to be so scary watching Jabari and once Jabari gets back to full force and hopefully no more injuries, it's going to be so scary watching him and Giannis go just, running the floor again. I mean, we had the most dunks in the NBA at the time when they were
last year.
It was ridiculous. They were just slammed. They had like 20 dunks a game, just running down the floor, just passing each other, fast break, just tossing up lobs. It was nuts, dude.
Yeah,
that was when the Bucks weren't even they didn't even know their identity.
They were struggling, and they were struggling defensively, and that's when the first Fire Kid chance surfaced.
Right,
But yeah, I must say that the Bucks have not been nearly as fun to watch this year as they were last year when Jabari was
very true.
And Giannis. It was Jabari and Giannis throwing lobs to each other every
ridiculous.
game, and even though they might only win by 2 or even get blown out, at least they were putting on a show, so they kind of eased the pain a little bit. But I guess winning isn't that fun to watch. It is because it's more satisfying. But winning isn't as glamorous as throwing up a bunch of dunks and losing, I guess.
But we've got to get to probably the biggest story of this last week here, or this week too, but since the last podcast, and that's the Blake Griffin trade.
Yep, let's go back to the Blake Griffin trade. All right, and then I'll get into I'll tell you a little bit about my trip to United Center. Seeing it's so cool seeing the Bucks win on especially against the Bulls, no less, but on another team's floor, man. It's just great. You see especially seeing the opposing team's fans just react to Giannis in the way, like, every time he gets in a fast break dunk or he hits a three, they're like, wow, I didn't know he could do that. And I'm like, yeah, he can. That's right. But anyway, Blake Griffin trade. So the Pistons get Blake Griffin, Bryce Johnson, Willie Reed. Willie Reed's actually a really good. He's a good fringe player, you know. Never heard of. I don't know too much about Bryce Johnson. Clippers get. This is where I think Clippers won. They get Tobias Harris, who is he's a borderline all-star. He received a lot of. I think he was the Pistons' second leading vote getter behind Andre Drummond. Avery Bradley, who's spent a lot of time hurt as of late, but he hasn't been a good defender this year. But we saw what he does in the playoffs, and I think that's what matters. Avery Bradley is a solid off-ball defender, and Boban Marjanovic. Yeah, I'm saying that right. Gotta be right.
Yeah.
At least the syllables should be right.
That guy's huge. Do you remember him playing for the Spurs?
Oh, is that big? Okay.
That guy's huge.
Yeah, okay. Now I know. I faced the name. Okay, yeah.
It's a little goofy, I guess, but
he's a big, goofy looking
huge,
guy.
Dude.
And then Clippers also get Detroit's protected first-round pick for this year, and then 2019 second-round pick. So I think the Clippers covered their bases pretty well. And whether Doc was behind this trade, which I wouldn't think I think he would have been with.
He's president of operations.
No one gets along. If you don't get along with my son, you're gone. But
president of basketball operations out there.
Right. So, what a well-engineered trade. And I was saying before how this is what you get when you have two GMs who double as coaches. But someone's gonna win the trade, and I think it's pretty safe to say that the Clippers did, unless the Pistons have some finding Jesus moment, and they and Blake Griffin just ends up being the absolute most perfect fit there ever was in Detroit. It's not happening, but
no.
I've been wrong before, though, right? So I think maybe we talked about it earlier, but do either of these teams make the playoffs?
If I had to give it to one, it would be the Clippers. I mean, they just, like I said, Lou Williams is on a tear this year, and you team them up. If they keep DeAndre, you still got DeAndre Jordan over there, and Avery Bradley bringing a little defense and some shooting, and Tobias Harris, and they got a pretty good team, man. I mean, it's not championship caliber whatsoever, but Gallinari and
if he ever gets healthy,
you're right. Wesley Johnson.
Johnson's a solid player.
Isn't Patrick Beverley? He's still injured, right?
Yeah, he's out for the season.
Right.
Guess what? You have Patrick Beverley for under $6 million a year for the next for next year too. So,
yeah, and look at they got so much room to work with, man.
Have a ton of money going into the 1920 season. So next year they're still kind of tied up with.
That was the best move they could ever do.
Yeah, they freed up. I think Clippers fans should be overall very.
I'm sure Doc Rivers probably went out and celebrated after last night. He probably was at a strip club or something. Him in Austin. That was just an excellent move by them. I can't believe that the Pistons fell for that. I'm sorry. This is probably one of the worst trades of the season to me.
Yeah, and I guess there have only been really two big ones, so I think it is the worst trade of the season. And DeAndre Jordan's probably going to be next, like we said before.
I think so,
and
man.
if they do that, then they clear.
They want to keep him, but
they don't.
They know he's not going to stay.
He's not a championship big man. He's not.
I mean, he could have been. He just, he's been playing the back role for 6-7 years now, or however long he's been there.
And Lob City didn't work. It didn't work.
Well, he should have known that. I think he did know that, and that's why he wanted to. That's why he was going to go to Dallas. He screwed himself over, and I'm so glad that this happened to him. Out of all the things that could happen to him, I'm so glad this happened to him. He got screwed over. They traveled to Dallas to recruit him back to the Clippers, and then that's what happened. Right. You tell a team you're going to sign with them. Then when the day comes to sign, they're sitting at the podium with the pen and paper waiting for you, and you don't answer your phone. Yep. So yeah, exactly. It's karma. He deserved that one there.
So the Clippers only have $25 million in guaranteed going in. Like I think I said that already. 19-20 season. So who knows who they could get? I think that's LeBron's next landing spot. Hot take alert.
No way.
Yeah, dude, he wants to go to LA. He does.
Why would he go to the Clippers?
Because
who's he going to play next? Who's he going to play next? He doesn't. He's not thinking about money. Are you kidding me?
I know he's not thinking about money, but the money says he can bring anyone he wants with him. He do the
same thing in LA. I mean, with the Lakers, if that was the case.
But no,
he's not looking to move somewhere else to form a super team. I don't care what anybody's saying about LeBron. I think LeBron's staying in Cleveland, to be honest with you. I've been saying that since day one.
I think so too, but
I don't think he's leaving.
Of all landing spots, I think the Clippers. You know what? Any player would go to LA if they had the chance.
No, but I don't know if you. Did I share that story with you? That who was that? I think that was Colin Howard, or what's his
Howard.
name? Yeah. He reported that L.A. and LeBron are in talks right now.
Which the Lakers?
The Lakers. Okay. Lakers and LeBron are in talks right now.
Oh, I think you.
And a couple of his agents actually a part of the couple of people that are part of his team live in L.A. And that might be the next landing spot there.
Right.
He said he wasn't gonna release who that was that that released that information, but they say that LeBron and the Lakers are in talks.
Well, I guess there's not really much more to say about United Center. It was a lot of fun though. I think it's time for us to get out of here though, because we're coming up on that hour and kind of running out of stuff to talk about, which I didn't think would happen today. But maybe it was
a busy night.
But yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of shakeups in these next couple weeks here. Guys, stay tuned because trade deadline's coming up soon, man. Yeah. It's gonna be.
I feel like there's a big trade that Woj is just gonna, he's gonna drop another Woj bomb on Twitter tomorrow. I feel it coming, man. Tuesdays are always the days for big trades.
That's true.
Man. Today was Tuesday. What am I saying? I'm still used to it. I'm so used to doing it on Monday still. Yeah. But no, today was Tuesday. So I guess
take a look at the page, guys. It's a little video, the little halfway point of a little chippy action that's been going on in the NBA
Tyler
this year.
Put up a nice kind of an NBA World Star fight comp.
Yeah, it's just crazy to see how many people have been gotten into it this year. And it's only we're halfway through. That's crazy.
Yeah, how much of it is real though? I think
it was a lot of swinging going on.
I loved the Westbrook and Joel Embiid stare downs that were happening.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous.
Last night's game.
Joel Embiid just dunked him, and
that was crazy. And then the caption of the photo he put up was hilarious. It's like tough loss tonight or something like that, and it just shows him like midair rustling, like just sprawled on the ground.
Joel's gonna be one of the funniest in the league here. He's gonna be one of the faces of the league.
He is your NBA certified troll right now. Anyway, it's time for us to get out of here. It was nice talk. It was a lot of fun again this week, Tyler.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it again next week. Everyone have a good, productive week. And we'll talk to you next Tuesday. Peace.
Adios.